What's up guys, my name is Ace, and yesterday we got some big updates regarding COD in 2023, because things have really been all over the place for the past year or so, with various rumors coming out. The big prevailing rumor that has been around for quite some time now is that Modern Warfare 2 is going to be a 2-year title, so there isn't going to be a new Call of Duty game this year in 2023, and instead we have to wait till 2024 when Treyarch will be launching their game. Now, it is worth noting this was never officially confirmed, but as time went on, rumors continued to flow when it came to this, and apparently, instead of a new title in 2023, we were going to be getting a premium expansion to Modern Warfare 2, and this was apparently being worked on by Sledgehammer Games. And it was heavily rumored that we were going to see sort of like a Modern Warfare 2 greatest hits map pack, so a bunch of the Modern Warfare 2, like the original Modern Warfare 2 maps, if not all of them, coming to the game at once, but you'd have to pay for it. And on top of that, with these rumors of this expansion, there were even rumors that they were going to add campaign missions and further the story along a little bit more with an expansion pack. Well, it turns out, as of yesterday, there are new rumors that are suggesting that they have pivoted away from that, and instead, we are actually getting a new Call of Duty game this year. And this newest leak / rumor is coming from Tom Henderson with Insider Gaming. He is a well-known leaker in the community, and generally speaking, he is somebody to be trusted when it comes to this inside information. It appears that it was actually true that at one point Sledgehammer was developing an expansion for Modern Warfare 2, a paid expansion. However, they've changed direction, and like I said, they're going to be releasing it as an actual brand new Call of Duty game instead. Now, they do go on to say that the details are scarce, but it will be heavily connected to the Modern Warfare series. And while it could potentially be Modern Warfare 3, we don't really know at this point. It seems like the studio doesn't even know at this point. There isn't an official name for this game yet. And really interestingly, the beta, campaign early access release, and full release dates have also been leaked with this. Of course, all of this is subject to change. We're still very early on, and while these might be the current dates that they have bookmarked, they could very easily change by the time we get to them. But it looks like they're planning for a weekend 1 beta for PlayStation users on October 6th to 10th. Then a second beta weekend that includes all platforms will go on from October 12th to 16th. The campaign early access, just like we saw with Modern Warfare 2 this past year, is going to release November 2nd, and then finally the full release of the game is slated for November 10th. And that's really all we've got at this point. Now I just wanted to share my thoughts and opinions on this, and I'm gonna be honest, I've got some mixed feelings here. So let's first cover the good things, or at least the good things in my eyes. Of course, this is all gonna be my opinion, so it's fine if you guys disagree. But I think there is some potential good that comes out of this, as well as, of course, there is some bad when it comes to this as well. So let's start it off with the good things, at least from my perspective, in my eyes. I actually kind of like annual Call of Duty releases, and I know that might seem weird, especially for people that traditionally come from other franchises and aren't annual Call of Duty players. But for me, I like starting from scratch every year and having to relearn the game. And while the games are often pretty similar on a year-to-year basis, there's still new mechanics to be learned. There's new perk systems, new weapon metas, new maps, new spawn systems. Like, I really like just being thrown into a brand new Call of Duty experience, starting from scratch, and building up my base of knowledge from there. And especially for me, as somebody that really likes looking into things at like a deep technical level, that's far more exciting to me than an expansion pack that's basically just a bunch of content. Additionally, when it comes to player progression and stuff, I like a fresh start. I like starting at level 1 and grinding through and earning my weapons and my perks and my equipment and all that. And that's a huge reason that I miss the traditional prestige system, by the way. But I think if Modern Warfare 2 was going to be a 2-year COD, I'd really be missing out on that aspect as well. Another potential good that could come out of a new game instead of an expansion here is it gives them an opportunity to fix or really deeply overhaul a lot of the more deep-rooted issues with the current game. And the best example in this case is the perk system in Modern Warfare 2. It seems like not very many people like the perk system at all. Most people strongly dislike this new perk system and prefer the older style perk systems in Call of Duty. And at this point, especially after seeing what we're getting in Season 2, I have no hopes for them overhauling this system entirely. So if this were a 2-year Call of Duty game, we're kind of stuck with that inferior perk system that many of us that play the game essentially tolerate, but we don't really enjoy or like. So at least with a brand new game, I would hope they've learned the lesson from Modern Warfare 2 here, and they won't have this style of perk system returning next year. That is just one example of it, but honestly I felt a sense of relief when hearing we're gonna get a new game, because now at least we're not stuck with the issues that Modern Warfare 2 has for another full year. And while I'm sure whatever this game is gonna have its own issues, at least it'll be a different set of issues next year. I don't know, I guess it's kind of a weird mindset, but I'd rather have a new set of issues rather than being stuck with the same issues multiple years. Another thing that I consider to be positive here is I'm really glad that, assuming these rumors are true, they didn't bring Treyarch in to fix everybody else's mess yet again. Treyarch has been getting screwed over for the past couple games that they've had. Their development cycles have been a mess, at least based on everything we've heard from insiders. So I'm really glad that it looks like they're sticking to their guns. Treyarch's game isn't coming till 2024, and therefore I have very high hopes for that game, because that's going to be the first Treyarch game since Black Ops 3 where they're actually getting a full uninterrupted development cycle, and that definitely gives me hope for COD 2024 at least. And then finally, for the good things, this one is quite a selfish one, I'll admit, but I'm still gonna mention it here. As a YouTuber, especially a YouTuber that goes into like breaking down mechanics and stuff, a brand new game is so much better than an expansion for me and for my business. Not only because a new game means a huge influx of new players, rather than an expansion pack that maybe would bring some players back, but not to the same degree as a brand new game, but also, like I mentioned earlier, there's a lot of new things to learn when it comes to a new game, whereas with an expansion pack, if you're just getting a bunch of content added, there's not really much to cover there content-wise. Again, I do understand that is fairly selfish though, like that is coming from a YouTuber perspective, not really a player's perspective. So as you can see there, I don't think it's all bad. I definitely think there are some positives to this being a new game rather than an expansion. However, let's talk about the potential bad that's coming out of this as well, because there is a list here as well, and like I said, I'm conflicted when it comes to this. The first bad thing that pops into mind is how good could this game possibly be if it was initially planned as just an expansion pack to the existing game, and then suddenly, like less than a year before the game is releasing, they're pivoting and suddenly trying to turn it into a full game. I definitely don't have really high hopes or expectations as far as the quality of the game and the amount of content that this game is going to launch with. And I feel like that's already the general sentiment surrounding this news of them pivoting to a full title this year. Now on the content side, perhaps it's not going to be an issue because they were planning a ton of content for an expansion pack anyway, so they can just use that as the base content for the game. And who knows, maybe if they just stick to the fundamentals, don't try to reinvent the wheel in any way, this could end up turning out just fine. Just stick to what they know works with Call of Duty, and I think they could put together a decent game in a short period of time. They've learned so many lessons over the years, and they've got so many resources at their fingertips. But based on history with the franchise and with games that are rushed and thrown together quickly, I don't have the highest hopes for that. Additionally, one good thing about an expansion compared to a new game is an expansion is just adding on to the existing content that you've already got. So once you get that giant expansion pack, now the pool of maps that you have access to, for instance, would be massive. Whereas if you launch a brand new game, you're starting from scratch when it comes to content, and who knows how many maps are going to be in that next game at launch. Is it only going to be like 8 or 10 again? Are we going to go through that period of time where we're just feeling starved for content? That's definitely a concern I have with a new game launching rather than an expansion. Another potential bad that may come of this, and we may already be seeing now that we've seen what we're getting in Season 2 for Modern Warfare 2, if they are doing a brand new game this year, does that mean they're going to be giving up on Modern Warfare 2 support, or have they already given up on support and they're basically just going to provide the bare minimum, or maybe even a little bit less than the bare minimum for the rest of this game's life cycle so that they can make sure they're putting resources into this upcoming game? Like, is the reason that we're not seeing any brand new, never been played before maps with Season 2, is that due to the fact that any of the seasonal content that they were going to add to Modern Warfare 2 that was brand new and original, are they just going to hold on to that now and include that as base content for the next game, and instead we're just going to get remakes for the rest of this year? Basically, I get the impression that they're going to have to hold off on a lot of the things that they were going to be using as post-launch support for Modern Warfare 2, and instead they're going to roll that into the new title, and that could mean for the rest of this year with Modern Warfare 2, we should expect basically nothing, and they're just going to let this game die off completely. The one big reason that I liked the idea behind a 2-year Call of Duty is in order to keep that successful for 2 years, they would actually have to provide a really solid amount of post-launch support in order to maintain a player base on that game. And I actually wonder if that's why they're pivoting into a full release. It seems like Modern Warfare 2, while it had a strong start and a really good amount of sales to begin with, popularity-wise, it seems to have fallen off a cliff, at least on the multiplayer side of things, and perhaps it reached a point where they realized they won't be able to sustain a decent enough player base for 2 years with this, and therefore they have to relaunch a title to start from scratch again there. And that's honestly the biggest concern that I have with a new title releasing this year. I feel like Modern Warfare 2 has a decent foundation, and if they would just listen to the community, make some appropriate changes to the gameplay, mix things up a little bit, and add an appropriate level of post-launch content, especially for multiplayer, then it could end up being a great game. But I already feel like they're missing their opportunity with the Season 2 update with this, and it seems likely that with this pivot into a full title for 2023, that's going to take away from the current game that we're playing. And my expectations with Modern Warfare 2 going forward are lower than ever after hearing this news. So there we go. That's going to wrap it up for this news. Just remember, none of this has been officially confirmed. These are just leaks and rumors, but they are coming from very reliable sources. And this is where I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments section down below. What do you think about the idea of a brand new Call of Duty releasing in 2023 rather than continued support and a robust expansion pack launching later this year for Modern Warfare 2. If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.